Writing a book for the first time, my story. Hello everyone, this is Randy Carney here again with another session of Walking with Randy, where we talk about writing, speaking, coaching, marketing, and marriage. And I am talking about writing today, and I want to talk about writing a book for the first time, my story. Now in 2009, I wanted to write a book. The reason for that was I was encouraged by my wife to write something that would encourage husbands in the topic of marriage. Now, that was that was a compliment coming from my wife, and I'm quite excited that she encouraged me to do that. I'm not sure that she thought about me writing a complete book on doing that, but I got excited about the idea of doing it. Now, never having written a book like that before, I had to research a little bit and think about how I was going to go about doing it. I did have some previous writing experience, and I've detailed that in other videos, but one of those things was when I was in seminary, we had what we called a major writing project. Some people call those things dissertations or theses, and but our seminary was encouraging us to write them on a popular level rather than on an academic level, which now, as I think about it, was a great thing because it prepared the way for more popular books rather than just writing textbooks in the future. And so they used the term a major writing project, and it had to be 100 pages long, and I went through the story of how I got that done. It was a little bit difficult to do. I kept writing on different slips of paper and things like that, but I finally got through it. Then later, I had a job for Accelerated Christian Education, which was a major Christian textbook publishing company. Now, their curriculum had units that were divided, or had books, courses that were divided into 12 units. And each of those would come up to a 325-page book on the reading part of it. And then there were activities that were involved in that too. And so I went through and described how that I was able to meet my time goals for doing that by simply forcing myself to write 700 words every morning, the first thing in the morning. And then later on in the day, I had time to research, to go back and change the things I'd done that morning, to revise what I had done before, and it ended up being great. But it was a little bit difficult before I got to that point. Well, those were some of my previous things. Whenever it came to writing a book on the topic of marriage, I was reading about how some people write their books. And there was an author named Rob Parnell that advised writing in the flow. And I enjoyed his materials very much, and since then I've taken some of his courses in writing. There was also a book by a man named Steve Manning that told you how to write in fast writing, using the technique of fast writing. Well, putting together what I had learned in getting my major writing project done, writing in the flow from Rob Parnell, and writing quickly as advised by Steve Manning, I came up with a plan for a book and made the decision to go for it. And much of the planning for the book I had learned from Steve Manning, as well as what I had done in my textbook writing before. But I came up with a plan for the whole book. And the plan was 20 chapters, and each one of those chapters had a plan for 5-minute writing projects. And each one of those chapters was planned in such a way that there would be 15 5-minute writing projects. Now, if you figure that out, those 15 5-minute writing projects involved trying to find 75 minutes every day to be able to write. And using my technique of just getting the material done and using Steve Manning's encouragement about fast writing, I was able to write those 75 minutes during the day, not always consecutively. Sometimes they were snatches here or there. You could be sitting in a waiting room and get 5 minutes done. And anyway, so that's how it got started. So I determined to write for 75 minutes every day. Now, like many of you, the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. So I didn't always get that done every day, but I remember doing something on the book every day. And most days I did write for 75 minutes a day. Now, I remember agreeing to go to a mission trip to Mexico. So I was quite busy, but I remember that we went into Mexico during the day, and we always crossed the border and spent the night in Texas. And late at night, I was able to write. The guys that I was with made sure that I had a room by myself during that time, which I was very grateful for that. And I remember finishing the book while I was on that mission trip. Well, if you're interested in some of my books, you can look up Randy Carney or maybe Dr. Randy Carney for books on Amazon. And then if you would like to know how to write a book in 28 days or less without stressing yourself to death, you can get that book on Amazon. If you'd like more tips like these on writing, subscribe to randysblogs.com or go to randysblogs.com. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube or Rumble, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel, and you won't miss anything whenever we come up with new tips. If you're interested in having me come to speak on the topics of some of my books or to speak on the topic of writing, go to randycarney.com, and there is a form on there that you can fill out to contact me. And I would be glad to come to your event and to help you out with that. Well, I hope you have a great day. I hope this has been helpful to you. And I want you to remember, you can write a book. Until another time for Walking with Randy, this is Randy Carney wishing you the best.